Hello and welcome to today's live chat. Unfortunately, the lighting isn't very good. I can see myself in the on the screen on my computer, and it's rather weak. And I've got to first of all make the apologies which are necessary. The first thing is that there is a problem here with the electricity keeps going off. I'm in Ukraine, and I've got battery on the computer, which sort of reminds me I ought to start keep recharging it. So that won't stop my computer, but it will stop the internet. So that if this suddenly goes dead, then you know the reason why. I don't know how good the internet is either here at the same time. Now, hello Meta, hello Go Navy and Luigi. And that's the first. Yeah, okay, a little dark. Yeah, I'll put the light on there. Is that any better? No, it's not. It's worse. Um, and uh, uh, then, oh, I forgot what I was going to say now. It's gone. Whatever it's what has, it's gone. So anyway, I'm in Ukraine at the moment. I'm in Irpin, which is there was a battle here in March of 2022. It's the northwest of Kiev. If you're in Kiev, you get on the underground, the metro. You go to the last station on the red line. You get off there, and you get a bus. Then you come here. And Irpin is next to Bucha, which has become, well, first of all, it's pretty famous for the column of vehicles which were shot up there at the end of February. There's the tank column, which was completely destroyed there, and upon the street, Vokzalskaya. And later, it became noted for the massacre, the murders which took place there. Now, Bucha has a population, or had, I should say, of around 25,000 people, and at least 500 people are missing. So we don't know how many were actually murdered by the occupiers, but it's pretty serious there. Anyway, I'll come back to that theme. So I arrived here 2 days ago, and the damage to this town is quite extensive. And we're looking at it. I mean, there are plenty of buildings which are intact, of course. I mean, one of them, although even this building that I'm in right now, there's a bomb, bomb crater just next to it, damaged the wall. And fortunately, the people in the house next to that one weren't in at the time. Otherwise, it might have been quite unpleasant for them. But the destruction is really pretty horrific. You've got tower blocks where you can see. Hello, Christopher. You can see the shells which have been hit where people live. At various levels, but normally it's towards the top of the buildings. I mean, I don't know what weapons, but maybe it was artillery. It was fired at them. You can see places where cluster bombs appear to have been used. You can see houses completely gutted. And there was a house I was at today. Filmed it from the street, but it seemed to be the idea of somebody's dream house. And I really like the architecture to it, very modern, and had a huge glass window wall or more at the back of it. And clearly a lot of thought had gone into this house, but it was completely, it was it really made me sad to see what they did to it. And there are new office buildings which haven't even been handed over, or developers who've done houses not handed over, destroyed. apartment blocks. Again, once more, not handed over, and even with the name on it, was it some luxury housing complex. I can't quite remember the name of it now. And with damaged or destroyed, and it is to see this that really brings home what is actually happening in this country. On the border of Irpin and Bucha, there was a shopping center. It was the largest shopping center in Irpin. And hello, Mike. And destroyed, completely destroyed, and clearly afterwards it was looted. So I presume they destroyed it first and then looted it. But I mean, for all I know, it could have been the other way around. But it was so obvious. And but there was a pet food shop, and I noticed there was still one packet of dog food in there, dry dog food in it. And I thought, oh, they didn't take that. I wonder why. And next to that, there's like a hypermarket called Novus, which is a Ukrainian chain. And again, completely, the shop itself is actually, it seems to be structurally okay, so it could open again. But completely looted. Apparently, it took them 3 days to loot the place. And what we see here is a Russian army which is completely out of control. There appears to be no discipline whatsoever. They're doing the officers clearly, unless they're involved as well. It's a looting operation. This is a barbarian invasion. It is the sort of stuff that, for example, the Romans might have written about. How the barbarians would come and destroy their empire, and that's what we've got. Sorry, I'm just putting the electricity now on, just in case it sort of charging my battery. And so it's not a pleasant situation here at all. Now, yesterday, I think it was, the New York Times published, or the day before yesterday, I'm not certain, an article on a murder which was committed in Bucha. Now, they murdered, we don't know how many people in Bucha, because the graves have been found all over the place. But I'm just going to talk about the 9 men that were murdered. And it even occurred to me that as I was in that very same street where these murders had been done, that I ought to do a video myself on it. But I had my doubts if I even should be doing it. And anyway, maybe I can put this open to other people, what they think is it the sort of thing. Not so much because I'll be using the same material as the New York Times. Obviously, they did the research, not me. I can only add to what they've already done. But it is to write about something, to talk about things which are so recent, 2 months ago. And what appears to have happened in this case was there was a checkpoint which was set up by Ukrainian territorial defense volunteers. They had between them, they had a few vests, the armor, body armor, and they had one weapon. I don't know how much ammunition they had in it, but they had one assault rifle. And anyway, the Russians were defeated, but they came back. So they were defeated at Irpin. They came back, and then they started looking for the people involved in the territorial defense. They were doing house-to-house searches. Hello, Tuna. And at this time, they found these people. It appears that one of them admitted to being in the territorial defense, and he was let go. He was freed, but the others were murdered. This happened 10 weeks ago. 10 weeks ago, 3 kilometers from where I am right now. And the murderers are known. And the this on this site, on my YouTube channel here, I have already published a number of videos relating to Nazi criminals who got away with it. Not only that, I've got more coming. I've planned others out. I've either written them or I've finished them, and they're forward posted. And these are people, they got away with it. They got away with it in the case of the Nazis because they used the system. In this case, they're going to get away with it because the system is the same system of theft and corruption. Now, Meta has just written, sounds like a repeat of the looting the USSR army did to Germany after World War II. Makes you wonder if it's part of official policy or just petty crime. Yes, and it wasn't just in Germany where they did this. This happened across Poland. First of all, in 1939, there was this mass looting, mass theft, rape, and killing in the invasion of Poland in 1939. So that was the first time they did it. It also happened after they reoccupied Poland and occupied Germany. It happened to a lesser extent, as far as I'm aware, in the Baltic states, but there was massive theft in the Baltic states as well, in Estonia. I have come across a number of, and in fact, there's not much research done on this, so we don't really, in the Baltic states, what they did in 1940, we don't know. And probably the only reason it didn't happen in Finland in 1939, 1940 is because the civilian population almost entirely fled. So we have to start. We're seeing this. I can recall reports of this from Afghanistan in the early 80s. So this seems to be part of the culture of the Russian and previously Red Army. It is this barbaric behavior. Now, Christoph just written that they did the same in Iran in World War II. Russia occupied the north of Iran. The Soviet Union occupied the north of Iran, while the United Kingdom occupied the south in the Second World War. And when the war was over, they both pulled out. The thing is, what we have to ask is, there seems to be no control. It's just a idea of destruction, brute force, bullying. It's totally uncivilized. I just don't. I mean, I don't have words now for the behavior of these people. It's not something even in other armies in other countries. You see sometimes, okay, I've heard of it happening in sort of the looting happening in Africa in a couple of places, but not on the scale that we see here. And it's all done now with modern technology, so they can get on the mobile phone, say what they want, and then they'll go and look for it. Now, I just read now in the last half hour that in the New York Times article, you can, if you go to the New York Times' website, you can see it there. Put in the Bucha, B-U-C-H-A, into the search engine, and what you can see is photographs of the murderers, because there was someone else, the security camera, which was left running, which obviously the terrorists didn't know about, and there was also one of the neighbors filmed what was going on. And so the photographs being published now. There's a opposition, a patriotic Russian site, anti-Putin, which has also published it, and they found the wife of one of the murderers. And so they went round to anyway. She's obviously claiming it didn't happen, that the photographs weren't taken in Bucha. It's incredibly stupid. I mean, I thought you'd have come with a better argument than that. I mean, the evidence is overwhelming that it happened in Bucha. Maybe she just wasn't prepared for it. Will these people get punished? I highly doubt it. Uh, and it's, I don't know. It seems very difficult to to know what to say in this regard. But I really want to. I have been writing about military situations now for 30 plus years. Okay, I've been doing videos on things related to the Holocaust since around 2006, and to see something like this, it's the first time I've actually come into contact with this wanton destruction. I've written about it, heard about it, but I haven't actually seen it, and it's shocking. It's horrendous, really. I'm sorry. I would have done. I don't know. I was going to say earlier, and I forgot to say it. I would have done this outside. But it's pouring with rain. I've made 2 attempts today to get back to Bucha. 3 days ago, I came here to Irpin, and it was pouring with rain. But I went to an area where there was a lot of destruction. Obviously, there was nothing there was open at all. It's not like where I am here. So life is sort of returning to normal, and there are places of cafes and things which are open. But that part, I didn't know what to expect. But that part of the town where I went to, there was nothing because of the level of destruction, and I got soaking wet, and I got ill. In fact, I think that was I was a bit worried about it might be the dreaded C, COVID, but it wasn't. It was just a one-off. But in any case, that's the reason I'm not outside, because I'd rather do this outside. So at least you can see something. It's a bit more interesting, I think, if I turn the camera around than actually seeing me in a room in a flat in Irpin. I mean, I could be anywhere, of course. Could be. I mean, I could be in Newcastle or wherever right now. So anyway, so as I see it now, the big problem in this war is the problem is that of okay, one, the Russian army is out of control. Two, this doesn't seem to be no way of getting any peace, and it could well be that we'll see more and more crimes of this nature happening. It's been, I've heard of psychologists have said this is due to frustration, and you know, get these the killings, and I don't think it is that. You know, they come into contact with the enemy for the first time, they're shooting, they're frustrated, they go back and then take it out on the civilians. But what we have seen here, these things like murder, looting, raping of children. For example, I was talking to somebody yesterday about the rape of a 14-year-old. I mean, this is absolutely horrendous, and I don't know, words totally fail me. But there is one thing though I can say, is that the level of hatred, I have not seen this before. I mean, I've been in some places where I've heard about Northern Ireland, that there was a level of hate. I mean, personally, okay, I haven't been in Northern Ireland, but it wasn't what I have had seen. But then again, I wasn't in the areas. Sorry, I don't know people from the areas where the level of hate would have been really great. Same goes, for example, in the West Bank. I mean, I have friends in the West Bank, and they certainly don't hate the Israelis. Don't like them, but they don't hate them. But then again, I haven't been in the areas where there's a lot of the hatred. But here, people I'm talking to, and I'm trying to say things like, well, you know, this is Putin. This isn't everybody, but it's a constant, constantly repeated the same thing, that the I don't know. I'm sorry. Just they. I've asked the question: how long will it take for the hate to go away? And well, not in our lifetimes. It is. incredible what this has actually done. And I need to point this one out as well, because this is something the Kremlin propaganda arm uses about persecution of Russian speakers. I can't speak Ukrainian. I can only communicate in Russian. And people, everybody speaks Russian. It's not here. I mean, I haven't had anybody speak to me. People sort of open the door for you or something like that, or in the shop or something like. Nobody spoke to me in Ukrainian so far. Everybody spoke in Russian. So it is Russian speakers. It's this war. Where's these arguments of come to liberate the Russian ethnic minority or whatever. It is the Russian ethnic minority that I've come into contact with, which hates the Russian government, and it would seem to a large extent people as well. I try to put this forward very strongly. Don't blame the people. Blame fascism. Blame neo-Nazism. Blame racism. Many of the people themselves that suffered racism in the past in the Soviet Union from the Russians. Somebody was explaining to me yesterday the sort of the words that they used to call Ukrainians, which were meant to put them down in their place. And for example, in the army, that there is this feeling that in Russia that they are superior to Ukrainians, and this is something which has gone on and on and on. Anyway, sorry, there's some of my thoughts. So what you could do in the comment section if you think I should actually do something on these murders, on a video on the murders or not. I'm not really in two minds, but I should do it. Although I'm not certain I can add anything new. I don't mind doing something's already done if I can add something new to it. But if I can't add anything new, and I'm using somebody else's research, it's not the sort of thing I normally want to do. Okay, so thanks very much for being here today. There's a video this evening in which I'm going to discuss about, I think, a famine. Is Putin deliberately trying to start a famine in parts of Middle East and Africa? And again, basing it on previous experience. So thanks so much to all of you for being here, and all the best from me. This was a one-off because it's raining, so otherwise I wouldn't have done it at this time, I admit, or I'd done it outside somewhere. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. Bye. Thanks, June. Yeah, I don't feel 100%, but it's not like it was 3 days ago. Sorry, Meta's just written, it's very strange that the Russian army came as being liberating brothers according to themselves, and when they went Irpin, I suppose they still believe. Did they still believe themselves? So why do they do it? Yeah, I don't believe that yeah, I don't believe that they think they're liberating anything. Yeah, Christopher says take some pictures and video. Yeah, we'll do that anyway, Christopher. Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Meta, they loot and rape and kill their brothers. Yes, quite exactly. They don't believe it. Okay, thanks for watching.